Good morning, Mrs. Hahn. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to do couple chat about Mission Impossible. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck.
Stay tuned to find out.
Did you accept the mission, Jackie?
I'm here, aren't I?
Welcome to Mission Impossible Couple Chat Edition. Couple Chat Mission Impossible Edition. Maybe. Something.
Both?
Yeah.
If that.
So first things first, let's talk about that amazing reel that we made the day we saw Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I mean, we did our own stunts in that reel.
We did our own stunts.
Do you want to talk about that amazing popcorn stunt you did in your part of the reel?
Honestly, I was just like, for S and giggles, let's try. And I just popped it in there. It was a shock even to me.
Yes. And that was a one take wonder too. Like
one take wonder.
Yeah, you just did it. And it was like perfect, like a pop up, like the shot was just perfectly done. Like,
oh, thank you.
Yeah. Tom Cruise should hire you. Yeah. And then, I mean, world-class runner over here. I got the Tom Cruise rundown, right?
Yeah. The funniest part was how sore you were after.
Oh, I'm still
You're
sore.
Like, my legs.
Yeah.
It's like you ran not even half a mile.
Listen, I don't run like that though.
I know.
Like I jog on a treadmill and whatever, but I don't run like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty good.
Well, I mean, for your stunt, how'd you feel? What was your motivation?
Oh, my motivation was trying to look like Tom Cruise running in a suit. Because I don't know how he does that all the time. And then, I was like, oh, Jackie, I'm gonna wear my nice shoes to do this. Because I wanted more traction, and those have like the best the traction on it, I feel like.
Sure.
And
other than your running sneakers that you have.
But that would have looked goofy,
Yeah, but
but like when I got to the stairs of the theater, I was like, I am gonna eat shizzle right now. That's what it felt like. I was like walking up the stairs or running up the stairs like, ah! And you can't even see that part, so that's pretty funny. But anyway, yes, obviously we're kidding. We just ran and threw popcorn in the air. We're not doing stunts like wing walking or anything like that.
No, heights are out of the question.
Not like that, especially.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. First things first. This weekend was Mission Impossible Memorial Day opening. Big weekend for movies. What else came out this weekend?
Well, we also accepted, Mission Stitch.
Right. We did. So we had a little parenting adventure to the movies twice this weekend. Once with the kids, once for a date night, double date night.
Yeah, we went and saw Lilo and Stitch, live action. And Emma's not ready.
No.
As you found out this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, we've known that for a while, but every time like she gets to a new age, we're like, maybe she'll be good. She's 3 now. This will be great. And it's Lilo and Stitch. We already have established they love it. This popcorn bucket does not want to stay between us.
It keeps moving every time we do.
We got the stunts popcorn bucket, the Mission Impossible stunts popcorn bucket at AMC, and it's really cool.
More on that later in the video.
Yeah.
Later in the chat.
But anyway, so, every year we're like, yeah, Emma will be great. Emma will be great this time. She couldn't sit for more than like a few minutes. In the beginning, it was fine. She was eating her popcorn. She was eating her breakfast. But then after a while, it was like every other, few scenes. She was like, Daddy, I have to go to the bathroom. Or it was never anything real. Like she did go to the bathroom like the first time. After that, it was like, yeah.
She was so loud. And we were on the end of the aisle and she was just like, Daddy, what is going on there? Who's that? Like,
yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If the whole theater didn't hear her, half of them were deaf because it was.
And to be completely honest, I just assumed like we were going really early. It was 9:45 in the morning. It was like, this would be a theater filled with loud and rowdy kids. It won't be a big deal. Silence. It was silence in there.
Except for our little E.
Yes.
Oh boy. But Nate was super in tune, loved every minute.
Yeah.
He really was focused in on it. I think he really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I didn't get to see all of the movie, but do you want to say a little something about it before we get into like the real reason for this video, which is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning? Do you want to just say a little bit about Lilo and Stitch and it being a remake? And
I think for me, I was never really like huge into the original. I'd seen it a couple times, but like not really like my absolute favorite Disney movie. But being that now I've seen the live action as a mom with my kids, I was bawling my eyes out. And it wasn't even like it's because recently we've had the conversation of like, well, what if, something happens to us? Who do the kids go to? And that kind of conversation.
Yeah. We did just talk about that.
So it really kind of just like wormholed into my brain. Like, oh my God, this is like a little too close to home for me. Like,
yeah,
what if we did have a neighbor like they did and like she took, over and what have you.
Spider-Man too close to home. The sequel that never happened.
Right. I just, for me, there were moments of it where I was just like, wow, this is really hard.
Yeah.
And like, I was crying a lot of it. Because like, a cartoon version, I mean, we are not opposed to watching cartoon films and actually like feeling emotions and getting connected to characters. But I wasn't like that with the original. And then to see it live action and like right out the gate, it hit me. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
we were watching a little bit of the original today, and I think the big reason is because the original is played off as like just really goofy and a comedy, and like they weren't trying to take anything too seriously, even though like this subject matter of two girls losing their parents and then the older daughter having to take care of the younger sister,
the sacrifices she makes.
Yeah. It's a big subject matter. But they just play it off as like, hey, this is their origins. It's no big deal. Like this movie's really about the relationship between Lilo and Stitch, and it's hilarious, and that's what it's meant to be. I don't think they ever wanted it to be something super heavy. And now that they had a chance to remake it, they really focused on their relationship more, I think, and it had a bit more heart to it when it came to that.
Yeah. I thought they did a great job though. It was it was interesting though, because like you had brought up like Ving Rhames being that he was in Mission Impossible, and then the film that he was in the cartoon version of came out. Like, it would have been cool if he were in both, but probably conflicts or what have you.
Yeah.
Interrupted that. But
also, they were probably looking for someone younger and a newish actor instead of, like, oh, let's just use the same actor again. Even though they did bring back, they brought back a lot of the voice actors from the original film to play new versions or the same versions of their characters in the live action.
Yeah, the woman who played Nani originally in the animated film was the social worker in the live action. That was cool. Who,
if you guys don't know, is she's the actress from Wayne's World. She was in the first Wayne's World.
Yeah, the love interest in Wayne's World.
Yeah,
it's so cool. I don't know.
Tia Savara? Salaga? Tia Salaga?
Sarara? It's all R's.
All R's.
We're probably saying it wrong. I apologize. Yes. Sorrera, maybe is how you say it.
Sure.
But
butcher us in the comments.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't mind it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I the moments I did see that focused on that aspect of it, the Ohana aspect, if you will, I got a bit teary-eyed and emotional. But, the thing that kind of pulled me out of the film was just these types of remakes. There's so much terrible looking CGI. And Lilo and Stitch is just, it's meant to be an animated film for that aspect of it. And I just didn't really like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's really get into this, folks.
On to Mission Impossible.
So we talked about one half of Mission Stitch. Now let's talk about the big part, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. What'd you think, Jackie?
No spoilers.
Yeah, we're not going to talk any spoilers, and there's some big ones in this. So
huge.
If you haven't seen it, go see it soon.
Yeah. I mean, it's made for the theaters. If you can see it in IMAX
theaters,
see it in IMAX. I feel like Dolby would have been pretty cool just because the music was like the bass was there.
And the sound design's always phenomenal in these movies.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if I could get away with seeing it in another format when it gets to the certain IMAX moments.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think I'd prefer it in IMAX either way.
Yeah.
Even if you could see it like 4D. Like 4D would have been cool.
Yeah.
But I liked it. We did a ranking, like a 1 to 8.
Yeah,
so we will
we'll
definitely discuss that.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible. It definitely closed out the series. It was something that like, this was what they were leading up to. It was building over years of time and even like the stunts and everything. Like it was a progression of everything they've done over the years that really kind of showed like how much crazier Tom Cruise can get. I didn't think it was possible, but it happened. But yeah, I think overall it was a nice close. There were certain things that I wish they did, but they didn't.
Yeah.
As they, Hollywood always, what's the needs improvement or, does not exceed expectations.
Oh, that kind of like survey thing?
Yeah, like the 1 through 5.
Yeah. It got a 4.
Yeah. Needs improvement.
Yeah.
Not to say we didn't like the movie. It was a great experience. It was a double date, so that was very nice.
Yeah.
We were able to go with a couple of friends or a friend of yours from middle school and his girlfriend, and that was really cool.
And he's a huge movie buff too, so it was nice to like be able to go with someone that really understands movies and pop culture and references throughout the whole series. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't just going with somebody that's like, oh yeah, sure.
Right.
I hear they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, this Tom Cruise?
Right.
Right, because nobody knows who that guy is.
It's the running guy.
Right.
It's the guy that does all his own crazy stunts.
Right. The guy that flies planes and jumps out of
helicopters.
things. And,
Yeah.
He does that in every movie now.
Pretty much. But yeah, I mean,
What'd you think?
As someone who, grew up with this film series, I watched a video the other day and in the comments section on YouTube, a guy listed the films and what age he was when each film came out. And he's basically the same age as me. So like seeing that really hit home for me. And I was like, wow, I literally have grown up with this series.
Yeah.
The only one I haven't seen in the movie theaters was the first one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because the Mission Impossible came out in 1996. I was 6 or 7, depending on the date. I was 6 because I think they even show the date of the original release in Final Reckoning because it plays like a plot point. Not part of the movies, but like I think it was supposed to be like a fourth wall breaking thing. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But May 22nd, 1996, when you see the movie, you'll know like what that means in the context of the movie.
Right.
But I kind of think I didn't research this, but I kind of think that was the original release of the movie.
Makes sense.
So I was 6,
Yeah.
So I didn't see that one in theaters, but my dad had it on VHS, and that's another thing. And no spoilers, but like. The beginning of this movie really hit me.
Yeah.
It really hit me. And that's why I really love the movie. I do.
Yeah.
There's not a bad Mission Impossible movie in my opinion, except maybe 3.
Well, wait, we have the ranking.
I know. We have the ranking. And the ranking is a paired ranking, so it's not like my ranking. But yeah. I mean, whatever. But overall, like, I love this whole series and seeing it finally close out and have like a definitive ending. Like, yeah, of course, with all these series, they could bring it back.
It could be a reboot.
Yeah.
Tom may not be doing as much crazy stuff.
Yeah. If
or who
he's
knows?
even,
maybe he will be.
Who knows? But I'm happy with it if this is it. You know? It felt good walking out of that theater and seeing it end.
Yeah.
know? But yeah, I mean, if you're a parent and you're looking to go out and have a really fun time, go and see Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. See it in the biggest most luxurious movie theater you could see it in, preferably IMAX. You will never regret seeing those moments where it goes from CinemaScope and the aspect ratio opens up.
Yeah.
And
they like had it be perfectly connected to the actions of him, and it was just like,
the
oh,
story.
that's so cool.
Yeah. I remember, and we've probably talked about this on this podcast before, but I remember the first time they did something like that, and it was Hunger Games Catching Fire, and I'll never forget that moment. And we watch it at home now, and it still hits.
Yeah.
But the moment where Cinna gets killed and Katniss rises up into the arena, the aspect ratio opens up to IMAX, and the entirety. See, the reason why that movie works so well with IMAX is because the whole beginning of the movie is not in the arena, and it's in CinemaScope. And then when they get to the arena, the whole Hunger Games portion of that movie is shot in IMAX.
Right.
So it's like there's no cutting back and forth. The movie's set up perfectly for that. And then when it ends and it goes back to just normal life, which is not much, CinemaScope again. So I love the structure of that movie and when they did that. But now Mission Impossible, Christopher Nolan films, these are the movies you have to see in IMAX because they do similar things to it. Yeah. And it's just great. And that is one reason why if you don't go see this movie in theaters, you're wasting your time. Don't watch this movie at home. If
you do, wait till it comes out IMAX Enhanced, because like the recent Mission Impossible movies we did rewatch on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And that we were able to watch the IMAX Enhanced versions of the ones that were filmed in IMAX or had parts that were filmed in IMAX. So that was cool to see,
especially
like at home on our projector.
Oh, love Fallout. And now that's a perfect way to get into it.
Yeah.
So that's our take on Final Reckoning. Go see it as soon as you possibly can. This is coming out Wednesday after a released Memorial Day weekend. Dude, go see it now. Dudes, dudettes,
everyone.
Couples, parents. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we are. The top 8.
Oh, yeah.
Mission Impossibles.
Yep.
And number 8, Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Out of all the Mission Impossibles, we rewatched these guys. We took about what?
It was
8
week.
days.
Yeah.
We took a little while to rewatch every single film before Final Reckoning, and out of all of them, 2 just doesn't fit.
Now, definitely more than ever.
But it never did.
Yeah.
It was so outlandish and so kind of like, whoa, this is not...
Woo.
Right, woo. This is not expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, my perspective of it is when I was 9, 10 years old and this movie came out, it came out 2000. There's even a song, Mission 2000, that was written for this. Chris Cornell wrote the song.
Yeah.
And this just changed my life.
Oh,
this is the movie that made me love Mission Impossible. Like, yeah, I watched the VHS of the first movie, but I got to go to the movies with my brother and my sister-in-law to see Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
And this movie changed my life.
But the thing with Mission Impossible 2 is, and I was explaining it to you. Oh, Matt fell asleep, by the way, as always.
Wow.
In every single one.
Not every single one.
Sorry, but he did. He fell asleep. And I'm sitting there watching these fight scenes at the end, and it's like 10 minutes of fighting, like,
There's a lot of slow motion. That was the thing back then, and John Woo was known for that.
And he's a great director. But I wasn't like, you know how Mission Impossible builds?
Yeah.
Like the music builds, the action builds, like everything is just like on the edge of your seat. This film is just like, I'm watching this fight scene for too long. Like, can they just like be done already?
Yeah.
Like the beach fight scene, I get it, but it could have been cut in like a third. Cut down to that little.
I don't want to like get this deep into every single one, but I'll just say this last thing about MI2.
Sure.
I just can't see it because I'm blinded by the fact that this movie is like, it's funny, actually. I'll say this really quick, but we just watched last night a Ryan George skit.
Yeah.
Where he was making fun of the fact that oh, let's watch a movie that I loved as a child, and oh, it's so amazing. And then when you put it on, you're like, oh, this is not amazing anymore.
This is not good at all. I thought this was great graphics and CGI back then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And oh, all those people are either in jail or dead now too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, not in Mission Impossible 2 though.
No.
But yeah, so I understand, but actually I think Mission Impossible 2 is, a lot of it does hold up, like, and I think that's a testament to Tom Cruise always wanting to do his own stunts, because there's not a lot of CGI in the movie.
No.
So I can't just, I understand why we put it as number 8. There's just so many good movies in this franchise now.
Yeah.
But it just holds a place in my heart.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's only 8 to choose from. It's hard to put a last.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Oh, wait. So let's see. Our number 8 pick was 2.
Yeah, 2. I can't see.
So there you go. 2. Check out our bin. Cool. Anyway.
We'll get deeper into that when for our last ranking.
Yeah.
So, okay. Number 7 is Dead Reckoning. Technically, and it's so annoying because, like, I wish they would just go back to the movie and change this, but it was Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I know.
And they call it that still. It's in the title sequence, right? But now they changed this last film to Final Reckoning.
Right.
It was originally supposed to be Dead Reckoning Part 1, Part 2. I just wish they would go back in and, like, do, like...
erase it.
Yeah, just call it Dead Reckoning now.
Yeah.
It's stupid. But anyway, so I think we put this one up this high because while I do like the tie-ins to the original film, they give this explanation, this deeper explanation of Max and her daughter and Kittredge, and I think that's all really awesome. I like how they brought it back to a train sequence similar to the first movie, to a whole new stakes,
Yeah. Very Uncharted-like.
Yeah. I enjoyed all that. However, one of the biggest things that I find that I dislike about this movie and why I agree with the ranking of it being so high is there's a lot of blatant exposition.
Yeah.
Just too much, very heavy-handed right from the get-go. They have that whole big like war room scene where, Carrie Elwes and all these different actors are brought together to like just exposition dump, just dump all this information out about the entity. And it's just like, all right, why did we need to do it this way? Couldn't we have figured it out over time?
Yeah.
And that's a big problem with this movie because they do it throughout the movie a lot.
Right. No, they really do.
And yeah, and I also don't feel, and this is a problem with Final Reckoning too, because it's the same actor, same villain. I just didn't find Gabriel to be that strong of a villain.
Right.
And I'm pretty disappointed with him being the final villain in the series after somebody so strong like Solomon Lane,
right.
Sean Harris's character, who's basically, I said it to you the other day, basically Ethan Hunt's Joker.
Right.
Like Solomon Lane is the Joker to Ethan Hunt, and Sean Harris does a great job. He's just got that sinister voice that he has for this role.
Yeah.
And having Henry Cavill as his right hand when we get to Fallout, we'll talk more about that. But yeah, it's just Dead Reckoning sets that all up.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get behind those two things. Blatant exposition and Gabriel as the strong be-all, end-all villain, even though the entity is technically the final villain, right?
Gabriel seems like just like the head henchman.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I gotta fight you before the big baddie boss.
Pretty much. But
it never gets that far.
Yeah, but they tried to connect it to his past, to Ethan's past.
Which we never knew about in the first place.
Yeah.
They just shoehorned it.
They did.
And they never explained it either.
Well, remember, you got to be careful what we say because Final Reckoning will get deeper into this stuff.
I meant into Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning.
They never explained like how he knew Gabriel, what have you.
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird to me.
They kept showing that flashback, but never really went deeper than just showing
the stakes.
Whatever.
The stakes didn't seem so high. Number 6 is Mission Impossible 3.
Yes.
Wait, where'd it go? There we go. And
Jackie had to push me hard to get this further down the list. And do you want to explain why you got me to push it to number 6 and you know why I agreed to that? Because it was hard. This is really like on a personal list, this is my least favorite movie.
I think for me, because of how much is tied into everything else.
Yeah.
I think that's really what like bumped it up a little higher for me. And I also just, I don't know. I think that it's the introduction of Simon Pegg's character.
I know.
And there's just so much there. And it's like, I don't know. It's really important to the story now. Like they've had it be connected throughout a lot of the most recent films. And I think it deserved a little bit higher of a rank than last.
Right.
In my book.
I agree. And that's why I said, all right, let's bump it above, especially MI2, which is like you could remove MI2 completely and never watch it and not feel like you missed anything.
Right.
Mission Impossible 3 is probably one of the most important entries in the series now. And, you know, without spoiling anything, if you've never seen it before seeing Final Reckoning, they give you enough context, but you probably should watch 3.
Yeah.
And it connects so much to Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation and even Fallout because of his relationship with his wife and whatever the case is. So I agree with you, and that's why it's here at number 6, right? But the things that I really dislike about this film and why I wouldn't push it any further ahead is I think J.J. Abrams is just... listen, you're a dude, you're a director. I appreciate you for being who you are. But I'm sorry, I'm going to be very negative right now. He's just a poison to any franchise that he gets himself into. And
I'm shocked that it survived after 3.
Yeah.
Because the filmmaking made me nauseous. Like everything about the film was just like, what is happening? Yep. Why is this going on right now? And it like the shaky moments, I couldn't watch. I get motion sick to begin with on certain, you know, sequences of a film. Yeah. But his films are always like that. Always too zoomed in, too shaky. Like, what is going on?
Lens flares everywhere.
Yeah.
Spielberg Jr.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. JJ just, it's always a thorn in a franchise's side, like you said.
And it did. And it's funny that you said that because it did kill Mission Impossible. Oh. Mission Impossible 3, if you look at the timeline, it's the biggest gap. Because the franchise did kind of die after 3. It didn't do well at the box office. It wasn't a big hit, even though like Philip Seymour Hoffman and I think his character is great. But see, that's the thing. Like J.J. Abrams didn't write the script.
Right.
He didn't create these characters. He directed it, sure. And that's the weakest part of the movie.
Yeah. I
think that the material that's there is great. And Tom Cruise always does a great job portraying Ethan Hunt. So like, the character development's there. Ving Rhames is always great.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg was a great intro. I agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, so like there are elements of the movie that are really great. It's just J.J. Abrams has this stamp on it that's like, ugh.
Right.
So, but let's not, get too deep into that.
Anyway.
So number 5, The Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
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 It's high on the list, but, again, it's only 8 movies. They're not really all that bad, any of them, if you watch them all. Like, even though I was just bashing J.J. Abrams in 3, like, it's still not a bad movie. There are worse movies to watch. It's still really great.
Yeah.
But Final Reckoning, it's high on the list because there's a lot of great entries later on in this series.
Yeah.
And Final Reckoning's great. Ties everything up, like we said, and we're not going to get deeper into it because we don't want to spoil anything, but...
Right.
Number 5 is Final Reckoning.
Yeah, I think that's the best place for it. Right in the middle range. Not really like the worst, but there's a lot better ones above that just because I feel like Dead and Final Reckoning, they both kind of just like, all right, how are we going to end this thing? Because like we're getting tired. Tom's not, but everyone else is.
He didn't want this to be the Final Reckoning.
No.
I think it was the other producers and Paramount that was like, listen, Tom, you're getting to your Final Reckoning, dude. Sorry.
But yeah, I just think this is a good place for it.
Yeah.
Not to say it was bad, but not to say it was like the best, because there are much better ones on this list.
100%. And you want to get to now number 4?
I do.
I think this is where it really starts to turn into like you also like love these last 4 movies.
Well, because these 4 we watched together. Like these 4 we experienced together in theaters. Like
not number 2.
No, obviously not number 2.
All right, go.
Anyway,
but yes,
number
you're right.
4 is Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to like explain.
I mean, I think the biggest thing, especially from your point of view, is the stunts are some of the best in the whole series.
Right. And the story, like just the fact that, you know, things are going wrong, but like it's IMF, so like things are meant to go wrong.
Yeah, but at the same time, like in this film, this is when they finally introduced a big nemesis to Ethan Hunt. It's the first time that they ever wanted to do something like that. They set it up at the end of Ghost Protocol, which they never do in a movie. They in any Mission Impossible movie, they really didn't do any connections, any connective tissue to prior entries. Right. And at the end of Ghost Protocol, they set up that he's going to start going after the Syndicate.
Right.
And then Rogue Nation, it's a year later, and they again in the beginning they set up like he's been after the Syndicate. He's like gone a bit rogue, which he always does anyway. But yeah,
roll credits.
Just like the fact that there was this kind of enemy that they created for IMF, the anti-IMF, as you know, Benji I think says. I love that. I love that kind of stuff. I'm just huge on lore, and you know, like that kind of stuff gets me going.
I just like that the whole cast is together, like Benji, Luther, and then like you bring in Alec Baldwin and
Jeremy Renner too gets such a great role in this movie.
So good
after Ghost Protocol, you know.
Yeah, so good. No, it has one of my favorite stunts in it, and just I don't know, it's one of those films that just it's so feel goody, and it's. Oh, I really like it.
Well, you said the whole thing about the whole gang kind of really being together.
Yeah.
It's true. And it was the intro to Rebecca Ferguson's character, Ilsa Faust, too, which I love her character. I think she was a great introduction to the series. And that and you know, bringing it all the way back to Dead Reckoning for a second, I think that's another reason why I put that so high in the list as number 7. I agree. Like we both agreed.
Yeah.
Killing off Rebecca Ferguson before Final Reckoning was a bad idea. I'm all for killing characters. I think that helps with character development and the stakes, especially in movies like this, right?
Right.
But they killed her off, and then Haley Atwell's thrown in there to replace her. Like literally 2 actresses that are just too similar.
Yeah.
It's like forget Rebecca Ferguson. Now Haley Atwell is here, and she's just basically the same character. Obviously they made her a thief.
Right.
So she's got a little bit of a different origin, but like by Final Reckoning, she's kind of the same character.
Right.
Fits the same shoes. And it bothered me a bit in Final Reckoning that they did that.
Well, same. That's why I was saying, like, why is it that Ethan falls in love with every female character he's surrounded by?
Because he's also James Bond for some reason.
Right. Well, that and like a side note for like an overall thing for the series, I mentioned this last night. Do you notice that they never cross gender?
Oh,
like it's always a female playing a female.
You mean
like
in
masks.
the face maker?
Yeah. Like it's always a female actress or a female person pretending to be another female person.
Right,
it's always a male person pretending to be a male person. I just thought that was like something interesting that like it'll never be like the White Widow and then takes off the mask and there's Ethan Hunt. Like it just never was like
weird,
that.
But like I could see like Benji being the White Widow.
But that's what I mean. Like there was never any like crossing like that. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if it was just because like
body type. And,
they didn't want to do like the whole body. They just wanted the face to change. Maybe. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
At a base level.
Sure. Yeah, and that's why don't think about it too hard. Because like at the same time, like, you know, not fat shaming or anything. I mean, I'm a little heavy set, but like Tom Cruise or Ethan Hunt becomes Davian, Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. Philip Seymour Hoffman's on the heavier side, or was, rest in peace.
Right.
I mean, did Ethan wear a fat suit when he was Davian?
And that's the thing. Did he? Or was he wearing pillows? Like, where would they have gotten that? Where would they have gotten the clothes?
Right.
Like,
they didn't show any of that. They just show him put on his face.
Right.
So, it's one of those things where it's just like, ignorance is bliss, ignorance is bliss,
suspension
whatever. It's
of
a
disbelief.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but back to our list. I really, really liked Rogue Nation.
Yes.
I just love the theater part. Like, that is one of the coolest.
Yeah, the opera.
And like the flute gun and like all this stuff. It's just like, and Benji's lines are so good. Like, see the world, join the IMF. See the world from a closet.
Yep.
Like,
on a monitor.
on a monitor.
Yeah. He's great.
He is.
And this is, I think this is one of his best movies in the whole series because he's in the thick of it most of the time and has some of the best lines. There's that amazing car chase through Morocco and he's there in the stunts with Tom Cruise, like in the car.
Right.
Like that part's great.
Yeah.
And you were saying like, so the whole gang's all together. You get Rebecca Ferguson in there by the end of it. That moment at the end where they catch Solomon Lane in the glass box. It's just, I think that's classic now.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's move on. Number 3, Ghost Protocol.
Dude. And this is where everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And this is why, like, these agencies having like a ghost mode or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but that's when you're putting your agents at the highest risk.
Right.
And they all know it. Once they say, "Oh, we're Ghost Protocol," it's like, okay, that means we're all dead. Like, holy cow. Let me get you there. Hold on.
And I mean that I think the reason why this is so high on a lot of lists and ours as well is the fact that this was the turning point of the Mission Impossible series. And like I said earlier, where Mission Impossible 3 was a moment in the series where things were at its lowest and it almost wasn't anymore. They took some time and brought the series back. I think it was 2010. Mission Impossible 3 came out in 2006,
Right.
and they said, let's bring this series back in a whole new way.
Right.
And Ghost Protocol did that. And like you said, just nothing works correctly. I keep mentioning to you, one of my favorite parts is after he gets his mission in the beginning, he walks away and the phone booth doesn't self-destruct. He goes back and has to tap it and it self, just stuff like that. Turning the tropes of Mission Impossible on its head and doing new interesting things.
Yeah.
I thought that's one of the coolest parts about this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Dubai scene is just bonkers.
I don't understand how anyone would want to do that. And he actually volunteers to do these things.
Yep.
I don't.
Creates the ideas, not just volunteers.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Like, you got to be some sort of nut to want to do that kind of stuff. Like,
We're watching
nuts.
Jimmy Fallon last night and his interview with him, and he was going over all the stunts, right?
Yeah.
And he talked about the Burj Khalifa stunt, and he's just like, "Yeah, that was fun."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
That was fun.
That was fun. The only one that he called crazy was the Rogue Nation plane stunt.
yeah.
He said, "Okay, that one was crazy."
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But, all right. Down to the last 2.
Number 2. All right. Well, this was a hard one because I feel like you can't have a series without the original.
Yeah.
But like, the original is so good in its own right that I feel like Mission Impossible being our second is not a bad choice.
No, I mean, it's amazing. It's a
I
great
think
film.
it's one of those films back then too, where it's like the espionage and the spy movie and like all these things, and playing detective was what really made us interested, or made us as a society, made us as moviegoers interested in that kind of genre, because it's one of those things where they just did it right.
Yeah.
Every bit of it. John Voight and like just the whole cast is just like so good.
And
Red light, green light.
Yeah. And the beginning of that movie like takes the cake, and like a lot of it was so controversial when it first came out because Jim Phelps killing off his whole IMF team, big twist, because we're talking about the guy who was the IMF leader from the series,
Right.
now just kills his whole team off, and like people were like in an uproar about it. Even the original actor who played Jim Phillips in the show, they tried to get him to play his character in the movie, but he didn't want to do it because he didn't agree with that choice.
Wow.
Which is interesting. Talking about it now, it reminds me a lot of how Mark Hamill felt with Rian Johnson's choice in The Last Jedi.
Well,
But very
I think that's
different.
how all of us felt about Rian Johnson's choice in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, 100%.
We're not talking Star Wars today.
No.
What-
We're
where
always
are we?
talking Star Wars. But yeah,
Mission Impossible.
so just and to me as a kid, obviously I didn't know anything about that past. I knew it was a show, I'm sure I heard from my parents or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just such an iconic movie now. And I love Brian De Palma. He's always been one of my favorite directors. So the fact that he's the one that started this series out has always made me love this series. And I mean, the Black Vault scene.
Tom did that stunt too, folks.
Yep. All the way back then.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
It was all him. My
Hitting his
goodness.
face on the floor.
A few times.
Yeah. But it's an iconic moment in film history. Everybody knows when they see that shot. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it had to be number 2.
Had to be number 2.
Can't
I mean,
have-
it's a no-brainer, guys.
yeah, can't have Mission Impossible without Mission Impossible.
Right.
All right. Number 1.
Drum roll.
Ready? On 3. 3, 2, 1. Fallout.
Fallout.
Yes. Henry Cavill
Oh my gosh.
killed it in this movie.
Let's go to...
Literally.
He did.
What did our friend say? She said mustache gate.
Oh my God, yes. Mustache Gate. It's so funny.
Yeah. With the whole Superman thing when he was called back to do reshoots, he had the Mission Impossible mustache.
Yeah, and they had to CGI it out.
Yep.
That's what happens when you do reshoots.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, let's just talk about it briefly and why just Fallout is the best Mission Impossible movie still after the series is now over.
Well, like the connection with Max from the first film and her daughter being the White Widow, and just like that whole sequence from the bathroom scene all the way to when they leave.
The bathroom scene, go all the way back to the Halo jump.
I can't, man. And that same interview you were just talking about before, how he said, yeah, in the helmet, there's all these lights. I can't see anything.
Yeah.
How are you Halo jumping at 25,000 feet with no visibility whatsoever? How? That's just, what?
Yeah.
I can't. Oh, you lost your air tank. Like, I can't.
Dude, Henry Cavill is such a good character in that movie. John was his name? Well, John Lark, but Walker.
Walker.
Yeah, it's such a great character. But yeah, I mean, just every part of this movie. So let's go all the way back to Dead Reckoning, where my biggest complaint with it was the blatant exposition, right?
Yeah.
Fallout's so good because there's really none of that. The groundwork is just laid. There's a lot of really great moments in this film where it's just directed well. The acting's so good. The writing is the best in the series.
Yeah.
And they don't have to beat you over the head with the plot. It's just there. Everything's living and perfectly aligned. Like it all felt right. The pacing's on point.
Yeah. And the twists. Like,
They're good
they're
twists.
such good twists.
Yeah.
And they bring back Solomon Lane. Like,
Right.
it's a matter of, we already know the villain.
Yeah.
We already know the villain, and he's the basis of the new villains, and like it all really works out really
Right.
nicely, like this pretty little bow. But it's just, there's not one bad thing that I could say about that movie.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is my absolute favorite.
And the ending, the last like 25 minutes of that movie, the helicopter sequence, them all like at different points in that ending, it just like everybody playing their role and the stakes are really high. They put themselves in a corner with that.
Right.
Fallout was such a high point of the series that it was hard to come back from that. Like how could they make the stakes any higher than that? And I mean, while they do in Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning, it never felt that high. The wing walk, the what was happening at the end of Final Reckoning when you get there, it just never felt as ambitious or terrifying as what was going on in Fallout.
Right.
Even though, like, obviously the stakes are very high, and like, I don't know, it's hard to explain until you guys see Final Reckoning.
I don't think it's just like what the stakes were. I think there's like a whole package there. It's the music, it's the choreography, it's the stunt, it's the acting, it's the writing, it's the actors. Like you said, Gabriel's not super strong, so it's very hard to like believe in him being the ultimate villain when Henry Cavill was the ultimate, like, he's a crazy big dude, really scary. Like, he's got, you know, this detonator that Tom Cruise has got to get from him, and like,
which
the stakes are so high, and you don't see it until like the very last millisecond.
Yeah.
Everything in Final and Dead Reckoning, it just felt very like, oh no, what if we don't? Oh, we got it. And 10 minutes later, all right, end of the movie. No. It's like, oh my gosh, like, we knew you guys were going to make it because you just had to make sure you made it. Ooh. Yeah. Fallout felt like there were stakes, felt like survival was scarce, if not not going to happen. Yeah. And they foreshadow it in the first 2 seconds of the film. There's a fallout, you know, there's his dream, and this is what he's been scared of this whole time. And then here we go at the end of the film. It's the same shot essentially, but yeah, it's just so good. It's so good. Yeah. Definitely my favorite.
But yeah, so that's our ranking of Mission Impossible. You can go see Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning in theaters now. Yeah. We're gonna rapid fire this because I want to get this in there. But we're gonna just quickly. We got the awesome stunt bucket from AMC theaters. I couldn't pass this up. No. This is a cool bucket. We have a theater. I want to have this thing in there. Yeah. As a little set piece. And I mean, eat popcorn out of it, right? Yeah. Tom Cruise loves popcorn. Why not eat
out of his face?
Yeah. 8 times around. But yeah, so let's rapid fire this really quick. Jackie, you say the stunt and I will turn the bucket.
Okay. So our 8th stunt is the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. That was an actual bridge set, but they built it over a valley instead of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. So that was pretty
California.
Cool. In California. Number 7 is the Black Vault. Pretty crazy stunt. He did it himself. It was in a sound studio, but still just him falling down a wire.
Yep.
Number 6, mountain climbing. He actually did that because he's crazy and likes mountain climbing.
There was, yeah.
Yeah. Number 5, the motorcycle jump in Dead Reckoning. Crazy cool. The ramp was built, so if you ever get to see those behind the scenes, there is a ramp that they CGI over it. Like, they put the cliff over it. So, but still a cool stunt with the hair.
We're ranking crazy man stunts here, you know, like, there was a ramp, guys.
Well, then he had 2 parachutes. I mean, please.
Wow.
Number 4, halo jump in Fallout. That is nuts. He couldn't see. The lights in his helmet made it very hard. That actually happened. Him and Henry did that jump. Nuts.
Did he? No, Henry Cavill, I don't think did.
He started it. I didn't realize Henry didn't do it.
I don't think he did.
Oh, okay. Anyway, 4, halo jump, nuts, because you couldn't see. 3 is the wing walking and Final Reckoning. When you guys do get to see this film, it is pretty crazy. He does go zero gravity in between the wings. Number 2 is Ghost Protocol, Burj Khalifa climbing. I mean, this man actually climbed this window. How? Like,
scaled this building.
My goodness gracious.
Yep. And he said that was fun too in the Jimmy Fallon interview.
So fun. Yes, so fun. And then first and final is the plane hang. He even called this crazy in that same interview. Tom Cruise, you are crazy. You do some crazy things, and we love it. We're entertained by it, but take a break. You'll be all right.
It is your time to rest, sir.
Even
though, again, in that interview, he said he's not going to stop.
He said he has more plane stunts to come. So,
yeah, he liked wing walking.
Yeah, he wants to keep doing airplane tricks. Like,
yes.
What?
Yes.
Anyway, there are our top ranking stunts from the Mission Impossible series and our top ranked films. And if you agree, if you disagree, please comment below. Share this video with your friends. Subscribe. Do that thingy that we do. That we ask, please and thank you. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie.
This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Here are the Hahns signing out. Thank you so much for listening to Couple Chat. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube Music. You can even subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see this episode in video. Thank you to Hahn Films for editing and producing this episode. Let's chat soon.